Good morning and good afternoon for everyone. My name is Vino from Chainsys. Thank you so much for your time today in taking this opportunity for sharing our webinar on data management. All right, let's get started right now. So, again, good morning, good afternoon to everyone for this wonderful webinar. My name is Vino from Chainsys. Today's topic on SAP Master Data Readiness, data simplification and governance. When I say master data, it includes business partners, material master, path master, etc. This was an interesting topic, and we preferred this topic based on an interest from the attendees who visited our past SAP events like Sapphire, TechEd, and some of the ASEC local chapter meetings. Our recent event, Sapphire, along with our client AOSmith, was presented the same topic and it was well received. Today, along with experts, we wish to share a few slides and our product demonstration on our tool supporting how we can simplify your master data with the proper governance and workflow process. Presented today, Jose Cavasso, Director Strategic Accounts with deep knowledge on the data management space, joining along with Austin Davis, Vice President Products, will be more than happy to share their experience working with our clients today. Feel free to type in any questions you have on the chat box. We'll be happy to answer your questions before and after the demonstration. Once again, thank you so much for your time joining us to the webinar today. Thank you again. Jose, you could get started for this today.
Great. Thank you so much, Vinod. Do appreciate. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate the opportunity and we appreciate your time in joining us for this interesting webinar we are offering today. Briefly, for some of you that are on the West Coast, I am based here on the West Coast. I also want to share with you that we as a company are a product-based company. And most important, if you look at the bottom of this slide, you have in there my direct number and my email. We would love to set up a proof of concept for you so you can see how our technology can help you with your current MDM data migration, data integration, data quality project you may have coming up. A little bit about Chainsys. As I shared earlier, we were established in 1998. We are a 21-year-old company. We are headquarters in Lansing, Michigan. Our second largest office happens to be in Chennai, India. And we are approximately around 1,200 people globally with offices around the globe, providing local support and global presence. And having, as I mentioned earlier, we have developed some software components for our master data management solution, which is an end-to-end solution. We happen to be an SAP Silver partner. We are also an ISV partner for some of you that are familiar with Chainsys. And our focus in providing a strong data quality and governance solution for SAP is very unique. Our solution has been certified by SAP, by Oracle, by Salesforce, and some other partners as well. In addition to that, we have and we are planning to continue to have participation on the Sapphire event, SAP TechEd, Oracle Open World, Collaborate, and some other shows. In addition to that, we also have some connectivity into some other third-party technology, as you can see on the bottom right hand side of the slide. Our data management solution is going to face enormous challenges when migrating data. And data quality is very imperative and important. Data readiness is a must, especially in the SAP space. And we want to share with you a little bit of what our data governance for an onboarding data and applications will be in the SAP space. Some other components that do occur during this process is some data reconciliation and some other audit trails as well. So that's a little bit on that. As far as our ChangeSys platform, we are an end-to-end solution, and you can see on this slide that we have a number of components in there. One of the things that we have done is we have made this process very easy for you to use. The reason is we have created a number of templates and point and click windows that enables you to configure and manage to configure the solution, so no programming is required. So on the data quality management components, we have a cleansing engine, some harmonization engine, some other standardization engine, rule engine as well. So it's a number of components that are constantly working on the background for you to help you with this process. And as far as our governance components, we also have some other engines running on the back end, helping you to make all of this possible. Also, you can see that our platform does have some other components for application builders, some visualization, some cataloging, and so on. And we have put all of these together for you on the background to make things a lot easier for you. I want to share at this point, or I want to have Austin Davis to share with us a case study with Siemens.
Yes, thank you, Jose. So the interesting behind this particular engagement is, every organization that is focused on get clean, stay clean as a strategy, that component has several areas where it can be utilized. So in a get clean strategy that is very critical, if we're looking at a downstream governance project or data quality project, but of course, it's also important for any kind of data conversion. So if you're a company looking at, in this case, Siemens was acquiring another company with a different system on Oracle, but that system can be any legacy system, whether it's Oracle, SAP, R3, or another custom application. The idea being is ChangeSys comes to you with all of these templates and can give you a get clean strategy for converting your data into either SAP ECC6 or into S4HANA. So this project has been ongoing as Siemens acquires more and more different companies, and as part of their platform and strategy from an ongoing basis. We can talk certainly more about that on the Stay Clean, which is what we want to focus on with some of the other case studies as well. Back to you, Jose.
Okay, thank you. Do appreciate, Austin. Yeah. So anyways, so our data quality management, the focus is, as Austin mentioned, we need to get clean data. We need to have some data governance. We want to stay clean, and that is something that our cleaning engine is constantly doing for you. And then we have, finally some analytical data that is going to be very valuable in the master data management solution, providing an end-to-end solution. So our MDM capabilities as far as data quality management, we're going to have several components there. We have some data consolidation that we need to take care. We need also do some data validation, and our template-based solution is going to help you to do all of this. We also have the ability to do some data enrichment, as well as some data standardization, and make some cleaning to happen. So all of this is occurring, and we are providing a very easy interface so that enables you to have multiple domains for data coming from different systems, flexibility to create, to have some data validation, a friendly GUI, and enables you to really get this single source of truth in terms of the data, as well as providing standardized enrichment for that information. So all of that does happen, and it's no programming is required. And you're going to see on the demo later on how easy we have put this for you guys. Now, deep dive into clean data, that is a must. And well, what we do is we have a number of engines that are collecting information and extracting information as well. And we have a number of adapters. In the case of SAP, we have developed well over 500 different adapters that enables all of that to happen. And that give us the ability to load the data into some of these standardized forms for SAP, giving the ability to validate very quickly and enrich the data right before the data is even loaded into the SAP or S/4HANA environment. Okay. As far as our governance approach, we got to take in consideration identify all of the sources from where that data is coming. We need to make sure that all the business validations are in place. All of the data validations are in place. The conversion mapping is in place. Finding any duplicate data. So we do, and also our solution does all of that. And that then enables us to then proceed with our data governance component, making that transformation and ingesting all of that data that is there ready to be put on a hub and ready to be uploaded into SAP or S/4HANA, wherever the target system is going to be. Another case of study that we want to share with you. Austin, you want to help us here?
Sure, go ahead. I'll just talk very briefly, about the A.O. Smith use case here. Just some quick background. So when you're thinking about a get clean, stay clean strategy, Jose mentioned all the templates. So all these domain templates will come into play here. So you may be thinking, okay, maybe I have a customer domain for MDM, master data governance, and you're looking for vendors, products, material master, chart of accounts. So these are all the different domains that you may be considering. Once you have a get clean strategy, all this type of master and reference data, you may want to consider, how do I keep that in my system clean? So you can also have a workflow engine. So our tool provides that. It's a highly configurable workflow engine. And what I'm narrating is essentially the reasons that A.O. Smith has had a very highly successful vendor master governance process. So what they're able to do is getting all of the stewards who focus on keeping the data on an ongoing basis. They were pleased with this graphical user interface, which then allows them the process of being able to keep the data clean. And then, of course, all those changes moves on into SAP. Now, one of the interesting things here is we have all the templates. As Jose mentioned, well over 3,000 templates between all these various ERP systems, whether it's an on-premise, Oracle, or SuccessFactors on the cloud. We can facilitate all of those connectivities so that downstream systems can subscribe to this clean data. So what you want to do is you want to have a place where this clean data is acquired, and then it is moved either via Excel or an integration or a flat file. All these options are available to connect to your various source systems. So the idea is you now have the ability to not only the first half, which is the get clean, you have a quality process, which is iterative, maintained by the business, and then you have the ongoing stay clean process, which is critical for your downstream business for reporting and data standardizations as well. Back to you, Jose.
Okay. So, we have a very limited time, and we don't want to bore you with a PowerPoint presentation. So what we want to do is we want to provide you with a demo now.
Sorry,
so Austin, back to you.
Yeah, I have a few questions lined up. Can we take 2 questions now, Austin, Jose, right now, before we jump into the demo?
Oh, yeah, sure. So if anybody has any questions who's on the audience, please feel free during the demo session, and of course right now and at the very end. If you have your questions, please do enter them into the chat. And as time permits, we'll be happy to respond to them. In the meantime, Vino, if you don't mind, please go ahead and make me the presenter.
Sure. Parallelly, I'm getting there. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. I'll just read the questions right now. Does app MDM executed before migration to the target system or after?
Oh, that's a very good question. So really, it's kind of a get clean, stay clean, right? So as I mentioned earlier, for example, the Siemens engagement, they are looking at a get clean for data conversion. So in this case, you're using it before go live. You want to cleanse all of your data. And then, of course, after you go live, a client such as A.O. Smith, they want to maintain that clean data on an ongoing basis. That's very critical so that they make sure that they're able to keep that data clean, not just at the beginning, but also at the after go live. So there's 2 pieces to that. So the short answer is yes, you need it before your go live to get the data clean, and then you need it after go live for staying clean. So this is on the governance side, workflow, and also you can plug in the quality validations, whatever you have generated out of the get clean process can be leveraged for all your integrations and conversions and governance.
Oh, thank you. Quickly, one more question. Does App MDM compatible with languages other than English? I think the foreign languages for cleansing and standardization.
Yes, so you can have any of these quality metrics can be done in, it supports multi-language. So where this would come into play is, for example, if you have a German character set and you're trying to consolidate customer names. So you would need to be able to do that within the German language. So that's an example where exactly we're working with Siemens in such scenarios where you have European customers and the language that's used is local German or Russian, or Spanish. So in those cases, all of these customer names has to be consolidated. So how do you do the matching and then to merge that client? So that process has been mapped within our solution as well.
Awesome. We'll hold it for our demo right now, and we'll continue with the questions once after the demo is done. Over to you, presenter.
All right, Vinod. Yeah. If you don't mind, please go ahead and make me the presenter, Vinod.
Yeah, you're there.
Okay. All right. All right. Hopefully, you're able to see my web screen.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to let everybody know from a ASUG experienced enterprise information management perspective. This is happening in the end of October, the 28th to the 30th in Minneapolis. So for those of you who have traveled or are thinking of traveling, we would like to invite you. The reason I'm pointing out is that Chainsys is presenting two use cases. So the A.O. Smith use case, which I just mentioned briefly, will be presented as the keynote during this event. As well, another customer of ours, AGC here in the Detroit area, that's Asahi Glass, and I'm going to be here as well. They are going to be presenting what they were looking at for data management platform. So they're focused on how they can think about data cleansing, data quality, getting ready for their S4HANA journey. So they needed a solution for that, which took care of the entire end-to-end process. And then, of course, the A.O. Smith would be the headlining presentation. It's going to be the main keynote. So we're really excited about A.O. Smith. They presented at Sapphire earlier in the year in April. So the results, the response was so overwhelming, they immediately asked the team, hey, you got to come to EIM and share what you guys know. So Michael Dees is a tremendous champion for what data quality, get clean process, stay clean process, how to simplify it and bring it to their business. We're going to share that story as well. So we're excited about that. Okay. Today, I'm going to be playing a recorded session. My team was thankful enough. I have them. They were able to record this for me. So I'm going to play this and get this moving. My internet connectivity is not great today, so we're going to go and revert to our backup session. But we would invite any of you who are on this session, if you'd like to see the live demo of either the Get Clean or the Stay Clean or the end-to-end process, please do reach out to us. We're happy to do that. We'd love to set up a session for you, discover what it is that you have in terms of your project challenge areas, and get that moving. Vinod, do we have any other last-minute questions that have come in before I start the video presentation?
Source systems. Next, let's look at the system assignment for the multiple source connection, SAP and Postgres. With the system assignment and inbound mapping, the master data is consolidated from these multiple sources into the hub for the quality process, and once all the quality process has been completed, it is sent to the target SAP system. Data objects extract the data from the source system, which we already assigned to the data model. Here we can see raw records of the source system. In order to identify duplicates, we have to configure the match in the quality process, and then in match activity, we configure the matching columns. In Match Activity, select the business rules where you can find the various weightage to identify the groups for duplicates. Here we can see the matching records of each source record based on the matching rule that we configured in the quality process. Merge. Percentage will let the user know the matching percentage of respective records with the selected record. By selecting the record, the user is shown the match percentage along with the match rule. They're ready to migrate. These qualified records are unique records that are considered golden records and move to the next stage. Click Move to Next Process to migrate all the records in the respective In Progress mode to Completed mode. The survivor count in completed types shows the number of records that have been finalized and moved as a golden record. The victim section contains the records that have been merged with the golden record. The drop count in the completed type shows the number of the record that have been finalized and moved as duplicates. Clean data in the hub. Golden records can be searched and viewed in My View. Once we get into the application, the landing page shows the object model that is already created for Material Master. Data Profile. In this process, the created record that falls against the rule created in the Data Profiler will be verified. Records that fall in the Data Profiler rule, based on configuration, depends on business quality requirements against data objects as shown here. Rules created against the data objects will be displayed in the bottom area of the form, as shown here. Records will fall under the configured rules to be enriched and further processed. Data collection is the second step in a data cleansing process, after the detection of values that do not meet the business rules. In this process, the invalid records will be corrected, enriched, and moved to further processes. The caution icon shows error record count. By clicking the edit icon, respective records will be displayed in data correction form. Save as draft. Press the Complete button so that the data correction process will be completed and move to further processes. Data approval. In this process, the data which went through the enrichment process will be validated, approved, and moved to the hub. The enriched records that are pending for approval will be displayed in Data Approval Pending. Click on the Edit icon so that the Hierarchy View form will be displayed. Click on the Approve icon to approve the record. Click on the Reject icon to reject that requested record. Hub. It provides a search facility to view the records present in the hub with their proper relationship. Outbound to SAP. Through the SAP application, we can verify that the requested data is entered.
All right, just concluded the video, and I think we're at the very end of our video session. And Vinod, if there's any remaining questions, if anybody would like to pose their questions, we can certainly answer them right now.
Yeah, I have two more questions, but I'll bring it shortly, not to take much time. So what are the different levels of hierarchy for workflow approvals login supported by AppMDM?
Okay, levels of hierarchy. Okay, so in terms of how the approval process works, so you could have essentially different levels of approvals for the data collection. So let's say you're trying to create a customer. You may have data coming in from the treasury, from marketing, from engineering. So each of those could have individual screens, which then would have maybe the data owner for that particular module area would then be providing that information. So on top of that, all of that activity will be essentially automated, but at the same time, there's an approval process in between for every single one of those. The second place where the approvals would happen is when you're trying to promote any of this data to downstream systems. So for example, before moving the last step, which you saw the data moving into SAP, let's say there's the owner of the SAP instance wants to ensure everything is looking great. They want to have an introduction of an approval process. So what they may want to do is they may want to approve the item either at the product level or at the bills of material level or at the plant level before it moves into SAP. They can certainly do that. So there's going to be checks that are introduced throughout this process to ensure that the data owners and the data stewards are fully engaged in maintaining this process on an ongoing basis.
Thank you. Two more questions. I'll read it and you can answer it. How viable it is to implement a coexisting model first and move it to a centralized model?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. So for those of you who have essentially a heterogeneous environment, so you're thinking, okay, maybe MDG may not work for you. I have other applications that are on-premise and cloud, and maybe implementation cost is very high. So I'm thinking, okay, how do I fit an existing system into my complicated environment? So in that case, a hybrid model works really, really well. So in this case, AppMDM allows you the flexibility to collect the data from your source of truth. So it doesn't have to be a single source of truth. So let's say your source of truth for customers is going to be coming out of Salesforce. So that data can then be pulled out of Salesforce and then kept inside of the hub, and then that data can then be moved into all the other downstream systems that will need the customer data. Your invoicing system, into SAP, into any of these other ERP environments. So that is kind of a curation of your many single sources of truth. You still want to have only one source of truth, but in this case, it's not the MDM solution. The MDM solution is curating it. Now, if you have a highly governed, centralized model, so all new introductions will be done through only the AppMDM platform. So that would be a good use case as you mature into the process and maybe you're sunsetting legacy systems. No new introductions can be created in the legacy environment. You want to start creating them in the more modern footprint. This gives you visibility into ensuring that the future bills of material, item, customers, vendors are always going to be in one golden system, and you're marching towards your single source of truth concept. So you start off with a hybrid model, which is a coexistence, and then you move towards a more centralized governed model.
Thank you. One good question. How about the licensing? That would be the final, we can close it.
Okay, the licensing for the AppMDM product. So the ChainSys platform is a cloud solution which is available on the ChainSys platform. It is also available through AWS and Azure. So if you already have a relationship with either AWS or Azure, we can deploy it on your own private cloud. Now, the next question would be, can I have this on-premise? So there are customers who prefer to have the platform because it does contain sensitive customer and bills of material, those kinds of data sets. You may want to have it on-prem if that is your strategic decision. For those scenarios, we would leverage the on-premise hardware within your network, within your data center, or your private cloud solution provider, and then the product can be deployed. So the answer, Vinod, is you can have it either way. You can have it on-premise, either on traditional data storage or through your private cloud vendor. And you can also have it on your cloud solution, whether that's Chainsys, AWS, or Azure.
Thank you so much, team. That's it. We are coming to the end of the session. I hope it was a really interesting and you guys enjoyed understanding our tool for today's webinar. Thank you so much, and I'll stay connected with you through an email and through a phone call with you to set up a detailed demonstration of our solutions. Thank you so much again, and have a pleasant day rest of your time. Bye-bye. Thank you all.
Thank you.